Hey YouTube, it's James from the WyvernWatch here, and well, it is another deck profile. I'm obviously, as you can see. However, this is the first of the before and after series, where we've actually got the after part of it as well. So we've had the before, and I did that a few weeks ago with the Aroma deck, or Aroma deck, or Aroma deck, or Aroma Lilith deck now. But basically, I still know it as the Aroma deck, so that's what we're going to be calling it. But the new support from Phantom Nightmare has now arrived. I've adjusted my deck and the ratios around it a little bit. Had to take some cards that I didn't want to take out, but we've come up with this. Well, we've come up with this deck profile basically, and I'm hoping that you can see the changes that I've made from the last video. And if you haven't seen that video yet, by all means go and watch it so you can see what perhaps the older school Aroma deck used to look like. Now what the newer one, or in my interpretation, what it looks like. It's obviously a pure build. There's no Riku in here. There's no what is it else that I've seen it with. So it's a pure build, like I say. I'm not normally. Oh, the Sun Avalon one was the other archetype, of course. But no. Oh, blimey.
Way to play Aroma Sun Avalon. This is the hottest new play.
We'll have to cut that out. But I just started playing my YouTube then as well. But yes, let's go through the changes. Obviously, I'm only going to go through the newer cards on this particular profile, so it might be a slightly shorter video than last time. However, I am, of course, still playing. Oh, by the way, sporting the generator mat here as well. Just thought I'd point that out, because she still plays a part in this deck. I still quite like having her as an option, especially with the Lone Fire still being there as well. But Aroma Jasmine, of course, went through her effects last time. Still, for me, quite an important part of the deck. The extra draw is very important. A bit of hand advantage was never going to go down badly. So, still at 3 of those. And we are, of course, now at 3. Aroma Lilith Rosalina, so this is the first of the new one. So a plant and obviously a tuner as well, which can be quite important. Quick effect, so you can discard this card, then target one Aroma monster you control and gain life points equal to its half of its attack. The fact that that's first part is a quick effect is really, really strong, because obviously any Aroma monsters already on the field, their effect will trigger if your life points increase. So it doesn't really matter how much you gain, but those effects are going to trigger, including Jasmine, of course, if that's on the field, to get the extra draw for your next turn. I'm still playing Rosemary, so you might be able to change one of your opponent's monsters' battle position. So yeah, very important. And if this card is normal or special summoned, you can special summon one non-tuner Aroma monster from your deck. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except plant monsters, which isn't a problem with this deck, I can tell you. But that second one is excellent. Any Aroma monster from your deck, I mean, that's why I've left a few one-offs in here, just so we can use the effects of Rosalina. Really, really strong card, had to be at 3, that one. I've also bumped Laurel up to 3 as well. I just think it's a stronger card than I thought it was, perhaps, and you know, obviously it's an extender, which is all good, but getting to that first Aroma Jasmine Link monster is quite important, and obviously, you know, this just gives you the option to get to it a little bit quicker. So Laurel has been up from 2 to 3 from the old profile. This one went from 3 to 2, so this is the Aroma Rosemary. I mentioned it before. It changes battle positions when your life points go up. And if a plant type monster you control attacks, your opponent cannot activate monster effects until the end of the damage step, which doesn't come up an awful lot, but you never know. But I still like the artwork on this one, really. I think that's one of the original monsters, of course, so I wanted to keep her in the deck. Angelica, still at 2. Yes, you know, for the same reasons it was last time, nothing's changed there. Still a very, very good tune, and obviously special summon itself out. Then on to the one-offs, only two, so you've got one Marjoram and one Bergamot. This is the same ratio I was playing last time. Like I say, not many people pay the Bergamot, but now you can special summon any Aroma monster from the deck. It's very, very easily to get it out, and can quite easily have quite a lot of attack power. So I've kept it in, and same for Marjoram's got a few tricks up her sleeve. This hasn't changed either, so we're going for the Lone Fire Blossom. I mentioned the targets for this last time. However, the targets, honestly, it could be any of them, depending on the situation. I don't think you're going to struggle to decide what you're going to bring out with Lone Fire anyway. And given the concept of this card, I can't see why you wouldn't run it at 3, but obviously it's a life point gainer hand trap, so that's the whole premise of the deck. And the last two one-offs, like I say, we've got a Spore which hasn't changed, and we're still running the Mardell because we can easily summon it, and it's a good strong plant type monster. So yep, still got those. And that's it for the monsters. So we'll go into spells and traps. So spells and traps have changed a fair bit, mainly because of this card, of course. So Aroma Blend. This is the new sort of 3 of. Going through this card, it's discard 1 card. Place 1 Humid Winds, Dried Winds, or Blessed Winds from your hand or deck face up in your spell and trap zone. All of a sudden speeding up those cards, because obviously they are trap cards, so you normally have to set them. You can banish this card from your graveyard and fusion summon 1 plant fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing its materials from your hand or field, which is great. And if your opponent's life points are higher than your opponent's, you can banish the plant monsters from your graveyard as material as well. So we'll get to the extra deck in a minute. You saw the new monster, of course, before. I think that's Marjoram on the artwork, is it? I think it probably is. But yeah, I thought that's a definite 3 of. And the other one, of course, I couldn't change. As I mentioned how much I liked to use it, is Cauldron of the Old Man, still at 3 of on this deck. And again, it's too useful not to have. Garden. So I was debating on Garden. I've moved it to 2, but I've kept the terraforming, so just to try and thin the deck out a little bit, only a little bit, of course. Whereas previously I ran all 3 with the terraforming, so it's effectively 4 copies of it. There's other effects now that trigger the life point gain, so it's not as effective, but it's still a good option to have in the Aroma deck. And like I say, because I'm running the pure option, I still want to have it there. This card is the only card I think I might budge to 3. I'm just struggling to find the 3rd copy. But if you normal or special summon an Aroma monster, except during the damage step, you can gain 1000 life points. And when an opponent's monster declares an attack while your life points are lower than your opponent's, you can special summon 1 Aroma monster from your deck. Again, same reason as before. That's why we've got a few one-offs in the deck. One-off spells, the same goes for 1/1. I mentioned terraforming, 1 monster reborn, but with the addition of Change of Heart as well now. I just thought it might be another option to use. Now obviously we can actually make use of Change of Heart, whereas previously when I made the last build it was probably banned. With it being a synchro, well, primarily synchro deck, synchro stroke link deck, we can just snaffle the odd material, and that's why it's been included. On to traps. We are running 2 of the new Aroma Healing. I don't want to see this in the opening hand ideally, but it is good sort of 2nd, 3rd, 4th turn. So gain 1000 life points for each Aroma monster you control with a different name. Fine, that's easy. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Aroma monster in your graveyard and special summon it, but banish it when it leaves the field. Then gain 500 life points. So again, it's a useful thing, but obviously we have to have the graveyard loaded in order to use it. And last but not least, of course, are the 3 lineups of the aforementioned Blessed Winds, Dry Winds, and Humid Winds. This was at 2, the best wins. It's now down at 1 because it's very much searchable. So we've just got the 1 of each now. So that's your main deck. Extra deck has again obviously changed a little bit. I've removed all of the Exceeds monsters in order to make room. What else has gone? Oh yeah, I've mentioned when I did the before video, the circle monsters. So the I can't remember what the fairy's called now, the fairy of circles or something, circular fairy. I can't remember, but the synchro monsters disappeared as well. So there's moved 4 out to bring 4 back in, of course. 3 of them being the Aroma Lilith monsters, and 1, well, I'll get to that in a second. But the first one, of course, is the fusion target for Aroma Blend. So this is Aroma Lilith Magnolia. So while your life points are higher than your opponent's, plants monsters you control cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects. And when once per turn, you can pay 2,000 life points to banish cards on the field equal to the number of humid winds, dry winds and blessed winds you control. And then once per turn, if you gain life points even during the damage step, you can make all plant monsters you currently control gain attack equal to the life point gained until the end of the turn. Again, very, very strong. If I can get a couple of the the winds cards, if you like, out, it's going to be quite effective, that as well. Yeah, so that's the fusion monsters. And then a few familiar ones. So we've got Ruddy Rose Dragon, 1 Black Rose Dragon, 1 Empress of Blossoms. The Splendid Road is still here. Aroma Seraphy Sweet Marjoram is still here. Garden Rose Flora is still here. They're all good synchro link level options. So you got 5, 6, another 6, 7, and then obviously winding themselves up just to give you options no matter which monsters you've got on the field. We're still running the Aroma Seraphy Rosemary as well as the last sort of synchro monster. In fact, I'll just pop that up there for a second, then I can put the links underneath. There we go, line those up a little bit so you can see those. And then link-wise, this is the other addition. So we've got 1 Benghalansa, the Resurgent. I just thought it's a good, strong plant monster link to go to. Link 3 is the Aroma Lilith Rosemary, which is the newer one. So just the one of these. So if this card is special summoned, you can add 1 Aroma card from deck to hand. And if you gain life points even during the damage step, you can special summon up to 3 Aroma monsters from your hand to the zones this card points to. You contribute 1 monster this card points to, then target 1 card on the field and banish it. And if you do, gain 1,000 life points. Very, very handy, but obviously in order to make full use of its effect, you need 3 in the hand, which you might not also always have. So just the 1 of them there. Aroma Seraphy Jasmine, of course, just a very, very quick go-to link 2. Another one, of course, is the Phoenix, and just the 1 link Karibo as well, just to round up the extra deck. That's it, guys. Those are the changes I've made to the deck. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hopefully you have seen the the before video as well as now the after video. Please do feel free to comment if you think that I've perhaps made a mistake with some of the new cards that you think maybe could be done differently. Feel free to point it out. As usual, I am not a competitive player. I just like playing. I like playing the cards I like the look of, and this deck has always grabbed me, and I'm so happy it's seen some really, really strong support actually as well. The next couple of videos I'll be looking at is what are we talking about? Well, I haven't actually given that up on the channel yet, but they're in progress. One's actually really sort of hit home, and we're not a million miles away of getting that one finished. So I just need to get it sleeved up and boxed up, and then we'll of course profile that one. Another classic for you as well, which hopefully you'll be looking forward to. Once again, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. I really, really appreciate all your support. Again, I can't believe some of the comments that I get on some of these videos. You know, honestly, they're really so nice. Some of them are really, really good advice, and I really do thank you all for tuning in and bothering to make a comment on there. And please do subscribe. We are very much a fledgling channel, and we're just hoping for another rise. You'll have seen in the last video, of course, that we did eventually, well, not eventually, we quite quickly in the end, and hit our first milestone of 100 subscribers. So guess what? We're now chasing the second. We're going for 200. Thanks once again, guys. See you soon.